And then we went to Paul Revere's house.
Oh, cool.
And they go, Paul Revere would often go to the pub many nights over the next 30 years of his life as he grew old and recite the story of his midnight run.
Oh, he's a loser.
Yes, exactly.
He's a glory days guy.
It's so disappointing.
It sucks.
And dude, how annoying!
I would tell you about the time.
How annoying would that be to go to that bar every night? Paul Revere's fucking telling his
on
story.
the table.
It's like, dude, we fucking get it.
Yeah.
We've heard the story, man.
So there I was. It was pitch black because it was midnight, mind you.
Yeah. It was midnight.
The stroke of midnight. I ran the horse for all I could. I said, the British are coming. The British are coming. He just keeps saying that all night at the bar.
Stephanie, listen.
Did you went to the bathroom during the best part. During the best part of the story.
I'll tell it again. Fine.
So welcome, everybody, to Overshadowed, the only podcast about the families of people who changed the world. This week, we're covering the American Revolution with the one and only Joe Nunnink. Joe, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Joe, let's just get the plug out of the way. You got a special coming out.
All right, we can drop it right now.
We're going to front-load the plug.
We're front-loading the
Front-load the plug.
Front-loading the plug. Yeah, I do. I got a special, Keep the Change, my first stand-up special coming out. May 26th, early access on 800poundgorilla.com.
Nice. Congrats.
And then, thanks, man. And then June 10th on YouTube. So free to watch June 10th on YouTube, 800-Pound Gorilla YouTube channel.
But if you got some extra change, get the early release, get the early access.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Go straight to you.
I was there. Great special, great bits. Looking forward to watching it. And you guys should take your eyes off our feet and check out Joe's special.
Check out
Please,
Joe's.
for once.
Check
I'll
out
give you
Joe's
one
face.
peek.
Yeah.
But now you have to watch the special.
Yeah, and
So
the
all
rest
you
of
little
this
freaks
pod.
out there.
Save the left until the end.
I'll save the
Yeah,
left.
Yeah, because that's really something special.
Yeah,
It's
you'll
way
get the,
bigger.
Yeah.
It's
weird.
freakishly larger.
Yeah.
So we're covering the American Revolution, which I learned about 7 times in school.
What do you mean?
Oh, yeah.
They teach you every year.
Well, you grew up in Boston.
No,
right?
in Maryland. I
Oh,
started
why did
comedy in Boston.
Oh, you started in Boston.
You're like, oh, all my jokes are bad now.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Oh, that's why I
Shit.
thought you were funny.
No. Maryland, yeah. So we got rid of habeas corpus suspended in the Civil War, but that's about it.
Well, that's okay.
But yeah, didn't you learn about the American Revolution like 6 times as a kid?
I don't think so.
Really?
I learned about it, yeah. I think
Every other year in history, it's like 1776.
Yeah.
We dumped the
Yeah,
tea
maybe.
in the sea.
I guess like in elementary school and middle school, yeah.
they're just pounding it in.
And then they kind of actually covered it in high school one time.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But I don't think they did cover it in high school because they covered world history sophomore year. I think the curriculum was pretty much the same everywhere. It was like Gov
Yeah.
freshman year, so you
Yeah.
learn about the branches of government.
Right.
And it was world history, and I don't know what
I
was
don't
after
remember
that.
any- ceramics?
U.S. history,
I think
maybe.
after that.
Yeah.
Home
Which is
ec.
up.
An elective? Yeah.
Yeah.
My history teacher in high school would take off for months at a time to follow Bob Dylan around the country. So I don't think it was that serious of a curriculum.
They are eccentric people.
Yeah.
History teachers.
Yeah, my other one had like a convertible Mini Cooper and always burn out in the parking lot. I think history teacher's like the last job before you lose it.
Yeah.
Last branch.
Dude, yeah.
You can just wheel in the TV, put on the 1776 doc.
They're the most like dispensable teachers in
Yeah.
any place. So the first to go, you can get any fucking half-baked guy to come in and teach history. But math, I mean, there's like 6 math teachers left in the whole country.
Is that true? We got an epidemic?
There's an epidemic. I mean,
Who's killing them off?
Algebra, it's hard. It's very hard.
So few people can actually do it.
Very difficult.
Let alone teach it.
Teach it. I can't. Yeah, imagine teaching it. Jesus
I had
Christ.
to give you an insight to Arizona schooling. My freshman year science teacher, there was a rumor that he thought he created 3D. And then the first day of school, I got him, and he goes like, just want to address the rumors. I did not
Like
create 3D.
like the term?
I have spoken like
or the dimension.
like
3D.
like
We were all-
CGI.
all of it.
What do you mean
Everything-
3D?
we were living
like
in
the
Flatland?
glasses,
the
whatever
glasses.
the effect, I
Oh.
guess, that 3D is. He claimed that
Oh.
he did not invent it, but he had a part in it.
It was like an Al Gore with the internet situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, he had no internet because he got caught looking at porn and had to use paper the
Oh.
whole year.
Oh,
He had
your
no
your
computer.
teacher?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then he had an affair with another teacher, and they had a love child.
Jesus.
That was Arizona
Whoa.
High School.
Wow.
Boys, home of the Huskies, Horizon.
How?
That's fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What was your mascot?
Stag.
Oh.
Oh,
Which is
okay.
a spayed or a castrated deer or something.
Castrated.
Or
Yeah,
it's like
that'd
a sterile deer or something.
All right.
Really? I thought it was just the biggest single guy. Big old single guy.
That'd be a
Maybe.
funny high school.
I thought it was like a.
It's like a deer with big antlers.
It's like a
but
buck, but like one that. It's got like a weird cock or something.
barren
Something's-
buck.
Yeah. It's like cock's a little off.
Okay. An empty buck.
Yeah. It's like shooting blanks. I think it's a buck that shoots blanks. We
a
had
depressed buck.
we had a teacher, an English teacher, freshman year, who lost her entire master's thesis. She wrote like I don't know what, like 100-page
Oh no.
thesis.
She
And
didn't save it once?
it was on a jump drive.
Oh.
And she like accused me of like throwing away her jump drive. She's like, "Did you throw away my jump drive with my thesis on it?" I'm like, "What? No."
You're
Like,
just in class?
no, she like pulled me aside after class, and
What?
I was like, "No." Also, why would you save a 100-page document on one flash drive and leave it on your desk? Anyway.
Your computer didn't have enough space for a document? Why
Dude,
is it on a
back
drive?
then, I mean, computers had like 4
Yeah.
gigs each.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
talking apples with the colored backs. I remember those.
Yeah.
Wait, did she take out a bunch of other students, or were you kind of
I think so. Yeah, she just picked out like the troublemakers and like
you're a
asked
little-
each of us.
yeah.
Yeah, it was like a little shit.
Were you like the kid in class who was like, remember that kid?
yeah, dude, for sure. That was 100% me.
And then destroying teachers' work.
Yeah.
Sneaking
Yeah.
in and lighting
What
up
is
the
that, a
tests
thumb
on
drive?
fire. Yeah.
Back to history though. I had a history teacher my junior year actually. It was American history. I was like a huge class clown by that point. I was dicking around all the time. It was so annoying. She fucking hated my guts. We had our first essay. I write this essay. I was actually like I loved to read and write at that time, so I was like a better writer than most 16-year-olds. And so I wrote this essay and I was interested in history. And then she read it and she accused me of like using like stealing like
plagiarism, or some sort of like
yeah.
Ask Jeeves. Like I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Like a pre
You get this off
Yeah.
Quora?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then she ran it through a plagiarism tester, and then it came back negative. Obviously,
Ooh, in front of you? Did you get to see the cold hard truth
she
live?
had to. Well, she like didn't turn it back.
The pregnancy test negative?
Well, she was like,
Bye,
she
bitch.
gave
Lori?
everyone their graded essay back, and then I didn't get one. And then she, after class, she goes, "So, I have reason to believe that yours is plagiarized."
Come with
You're
me
a
to
dumb
the...
fucking class.
And it was
And I
actually the
refuse
most
to believe-
flattering thing she could have ever said.
That is super nice.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
then it was so satisfying when she had to
Yeah.
like be like turn it like give me like an A and be like
That's
"No,
amazing.
Never mind.
Yeah, good work.
And then I went back the next day to being like, like through class, and she was like, "This is so annoying."
He's a prodigy. I don't know what it is.
You're putting tax on her
Idiot
chair.
savant.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Married your cousin, turned out to be Einstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you an honors student? I can see you being an honors.
I was.
Nice.
I was.
History a favorite?
I liked history. We had an English teacher who bragged that he could do one-arm push-ups. And
Dude,
then
we
at the
had
end of the
high
year, he
school
did.
teachers are
too.
so
Yeah, we had
weird.
He
one
did
too.
do that. He did like 10. It was actually pretty
Oh,
impressive.
wow. That is impressive.
Yeah, it was weird though.
Yeah, but like, who cares? Why
Nobody
are you doing that to
cares.
15-year-olds?
Yeah.
I don't want to see that.
It's
Yeah, we all have to watch.
I think
Yeah.
you become
We get graded
your-
on how much we clap for participation.
Yeah, I think you become the crowd you're with. Because teachers, I would
become
know,
children.
They become
Yeah.
weird little 40-year-old guys.
yeah, dude, that's true. They do become
Yeah.
weird little 40-year-old
Yeah.
guys.
They start talking to you, and you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
doing one-arm push-ups.
They're
and,
very off-putting.
Yeah, a high school teacher's a weird. First of all, to be honest,
Not
it's
a
weird
lady.
choice.
If you're a lady
Yeah.
and you're a teacher, that makes sense. But like a male high school teacher, and I think it's important that we have them.
Yeah,
But they are, for the most part, pretty weird
they're
guys.
strange little guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a math teacher, and then we'll get into history, but every day, chair in the front of the seat, like desk would bring a chair in front, like he's about to do the backwards, let me rap with your class. He just did it forward and just this all day. And just did this all like the whole lecture.
I'm
It
not.
was so
I'm not
strange.
lecturing. We're just hanging out.
Yeah, we're just hanging.
Yeah,
It's
he
just,
just
chilling.
yeah,
it's
he-
just all out.
Dude, that's
He's
the thing.
passing a blunt around.
They want to be liked so
Yeah.
much by teenagers, which is not a normal adult compulsion.
Yes. Yeah, because
So-
right now you see teenagers and you're like, ugh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they like have to seem cool to
Yeah.
teenagers.
It's the same type of weirdness where I think we've talked about this, where like a 20-year-old will have a Minecraft gaming channel, and you know that all of their fans are 10.
Yeah.
So they have
yeah.
to cater to 10-year-olds.
They'd
Yeah.
be like, "Hey guys,
Yeah, you
I
see
did
the-
something awesome."
No, dude,
Yeah.
don't hit me. Don't hit me.
Yeah.
It's like, it's crazy.
dude, that
Ouch, 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 ouch.
That makes my skin crawl.
Yeah, those
Just thinking-
The
channels
kids I
are
babysit
disgusting.
watch those channels, and I'm like, should I do this?
Yeah, it's
These guys are very wealthy.
They are
I
rich.
know.
They
That is
play
the
games-
next step for
They
me.
play games where they go to the third floor of their house or whatever, and there's like a little gummy worm on the floor, and it's like whoever gets the dart closest to the gummy worm gets a Tesla. And like
Wow.
that's the video.
Oh, is this
Yeah.
Mr. Beast?
No, it's like derivatives of Mr.
There's
Beast.
a lot of I know people,
Mr. Snake.
Yeah.
I know people like that personally. who,
Dr.
like,
Eagle.
I worked at a restaurant with, and then this is like 8 years ago at this point. But they were doing the to go to Arizona State University, and like today we're gonna walk up and hold girls' hands, like to,
Oh,
and they are millionaires.
yeah. Yep.
It's
Gotta
very
rethink everything.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
infuriating.
We're going to go right up to the line of assault, and we're going to film that. You want to get into some history facts? I can
Sure.
Let's
Well,
do it.
okay, here's a cute little
hit me with a cute fact.
something that the Patriots did that wasn't effective, but it was a kind of I think a genius idea. Patriots floated gunpowder-filled kegs down the Delaware River, hoping they'd explode near British ships. What do you think?
What was the intention to like throw?
Were they lit?
Shoot him with a gun or something? And
Yeah, they were. The theory was that they would act like a sea mine, like upon contact.
That's
they
not how
would blow
gunpowder
up.
works.
Oh, they just didn't understand how gunpowder
Yeah,
worked.
but there was a guy who was like the gun expert, and he's like, "I got an idea. We'll
That
float a
is, that is so funny because it was so new to them. You know? Like it was like 20 years old, and
They're
no
like,
one
"This has
really
gotta
knew
be
what
what
they
a
were
bomb
doing.
is,
Put
right?
a bunch
This
of
has to
bullets
be a
in a
bomb.
box and mail it to their
There's
home.
just one guy
That'll
with
kill everybody."
one guy with a twirly mustache who's like, "No, we simply put them in barrels, float them down the river, and they will explode."
Yes, once they collide with them, it'll be like in the movies.
Yes, the war will be over in a day, you idiots.
Yeah.
So what happened is,
so dumb.
first of all, the British ships were tied a little too close to the shore because there was ice, because it was the Delaware River. So the barrels floated past the ships. But the British soldiers were still scared because they also believed that they were mines. So they shot at them and they would blow up.
Oh.
And 2 kids died.
Oh, what?
Wait, so they shot at them and they did blow
Oh, were
up?
kids just like ice skating?
2 kids accidentally ran into them and they blew up.
What was going on? I mean, that's what's so crazy about this war, where you're like, you can't wrap your head around, like, there's kids ice skating in the middle of a battlefield,
Yeah.
and people putting barrels in the river, like,
People dressing up as Indians.
it was
Yeah.
a very, like,
tea.
improvised.
Yeah. Like anything goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
like-
really a kind of, what's it called in the video game term? Open world kind of war.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
It's
open
like,
world.
Do whatever you want.
I mean, it was like guerrilla warfare, right? So it was just like everybody and their fucking wife and their son.
Everyone was trying to enlist. Everyone was trying to help out.
Even
There was this guy-
volunteers.
There was this guy, Nathan Hale, who was like, in 1776, he wanted to be a spy for George Washington. And he's like, all right, yeah, we need some spies. And he was a school teacher from Yale. And he went undercover as this Dutch teacher to like teach in the British...
Yeah.
Behind enemy lines, teaching British kids. I don't know what information he was getting out of the
yeah, he
British
probably had
children.
no information.
Yeah.
It was just like a ploy for him to be like, be cool with Washington, but
Yeah.
also just go back to England and kind of get out of it.
yeah.
Yeah, just working as a
Just whoever
teacher.
wins, I'm going to side with them.
Yeah, exactly.
But he got found out like immediately because he was carrying all these documents with him that like he was carrying enough documents that you could go get like a passport at the DMV. He had all of his identification on him. They captured him
War plans.
because he had a horrible British accent. And then they hanged him like the next day. So he was like, but then there's a statue of him because he, I don't know, died nobly for the cause. And his famous last words were, "I only regret that I can only give one life to my country."
That's pretty cool.
It's
that's
cool
a cool
last
last
words, but
word.
he didn't do anything.
Yeah, he got caught immediately.
Yeah, yeah. Also, by that logic, cats are the most patriotic because they got 9 lives to give.
Dude, yeah, this guy could have used like 25 more based on how little he did with his first one.
Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely his first playthrough.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
got killed immediately.
Real.
Yeah, hopefully
It's like
it
every time I play
respawns him.
COD.
Yeah. But then they developed like a more organized like Secret Service thing that we'll get into.
Yeah, crazy.
Okay.
I have another person who snuck in, the first lady to go undercover. You know, there were women dressing up as men, little Milan in the Revolutionary
yeah.
War.
Some drag
Okay.
kings.
Yeah, there was a.
Mulan was a drag king.
Yeah, she was a drag king.
Yeah.
Deborah Sampson disguised herself as Robert Shirtliff and joined the Continental Army.
Name's Robert Shirtliff, I am.
My thing is, yeah, how do you pass as a man? Is it because the voice is high?
Yeah.
So funny to ask that now.
Yeah.
2025. How can a guy pass as a woman? How can a woman pass as a man?
How would
How would
one
they
go about
buy
doing
that?
How would anyone fall for that?
it? People just let that happen?
But yeah, no, it does seem like it had to have been harder.
You got to
back
go
then.
into the
There's no
tavern, give the biggest
cosmetics.
guy a noogie.
Well, I mean, she enlisted, and then she was in skirmishes, including the siege of Yorktown. She also got wounded. She got like a sword to the head.
That's going to help with the male identity.
Yeah,
Some
you want
facial
some scars.
scarring.
Yeah,
That
some
will
scarring.
help.
Yeah.
Also, they all wore wigs and heels and cod pieces. It was a very in between
In war.
time, anyway.
We're going into war. Get your wig.
The wig.
Get your war heels. Yeah.
Well, they do like they paint George Washington going down the Delaware. He's like wearing his wig and everything.
Yeah,
It's like, I don't
that's-
think you'd
No,
have that on.
probably was a mess.
Yeah, probably. Dude, they probably.
You're going to take your
smelled-
good wig.
I
I
think
bet
ab-
Washington's balls smelled so bad.
I think
Oh,
about
yeah.
the past odors all the time.
Dude, same.
It's had to be because like the Palace of Versailles had no plumbing.
All shit.
oh,
Yeah.
That's a
it's so beautiful.
People would find, it was so big, people
stunning.
would find little corners to shit in.
Oh, that's why
was-
they made it so big. Like,
Yeah.
This way, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of a mini city. You can just find alleys to poop
Yeah.
in.
yeah. That's what
Dude,
the
and
Vatican-
You guys ever
Everybody-
pooped in an alley?
No.
yeah,
me
yeah.
neither.
I got caught. once.
yeah, me neither. Yeah, me
That'd be
neither.
I've been caught
Crazy.
pooping. I have, yeah.
Have you really?
I've been caught yeah.
Outside?
public.
Where?
Where?
I did go to Thailand when I was 20, so I pooped in
And
a
you
street.
thought,
Well, you're like, this whole country's a toilet. Might as
Yeah.
well
Yeah.
shit all over
These
the
people don't know me.
what an American.
They probably think it's a delicacy.
Yeah, I think I was just hammered and had to go.
Fucking Thailand, right?
They should be grateful I'm shitting on their street.
Kelly, hold my stuff. Yeah, I just went and people were like, "What are you?" And I was like,
Yeah, I doubt George Washington would bring his good wig on the Delaware. It's going to get all fucked up.
No, yeah.
You leave that at
absolutely
home. You
not.
save that
But
for the
that's,
meetings.
That's wild that lady did that.
Yeah, well, so when she got her injuries, they still didn't find out because she tended to her own wounds. She only was found out when she got a fever, and she must have been asleep, and maybe I don't know what they did to find out, but
They're like, I don't want to alarm you, sir, but you also have giant breasts.
yeah, what happened in that
Were
battle?
you aware of this? Somebody cut off your penis.
They only found out when they all went to measure all of their cocks.
Yeah,
All right, boys,
drop trowel.
drop trowel. She was like, I was worried this was going to happen.
I thought this was just a myth. This is
I
real.
thought this happens in every war. Wow.
Yeah, just like the last war, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the French Indian War, they did this too, but I thought my dad was lying. But they discharged her. They didn't. It wasn't like a big deal. George Washington gave her like an honorable.
Well, you
discharge.
need everybody
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the Revolutionary War. You can't
Yeah.
be turning away the trans troops.
No.
Even now, well, we're trying to turn away the trans troops.
I
right
think
now.
they are now.
I saw
yeah.
a pretty good quote that was on some show. She was like, we're too strong for sports, but too weak for the military."
I saw that too.
Good
Yeah,
quote.
That was fun.
That's a good burn.
one,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trans burn. Did you guys know this? I didn't know this at all. Thanksgiving was a revolutionary holiday.
Really? Like
First.
they celebrated it
It
during
was
the revolution?
The first Thanksgiving was thank God we made it through the Revolutionary War. George Washington made it to be like, woo!
yeah.
That was fucking crazy.
So the pilgrim thing is
But
a
to
myth?
commemorate the pilgrims?
No, they made it.
They
to
made
be
that
like-
up later.
They made it up for like Hallmark reasons. There was, I think it was like Susan Hale. She made up the story to give it sort of like a fun little myth and tie it to the Pilgrims and make it sort of kitschy, and the whole country bought it. And that's
Yeah.
why we know Thanksgiving.
I mean, like Coca-Cola invented like Christmas. Like, you know, they invented like Santa Claus.
and polar bears.
Santa Claus, yeah, and polar bears.
They're not real.
Those are
Those are
completely-
No,
those are animatronics
Yeah.
swimming around
Yeah,
up there.
yeah. Try to measure their dicks. They're all women in costumes.
Yep.
bears aren't white. They're just not.
Yeah. How'd they invent? Did they invent Santa?
Pretty much, yeah. They combined like Saint Nick with like a different Dutch folk guy,
What?
and just kind of combined parts of each one of them, and then they came up with like a fat guy in a red suit with a beard, and called him Santa Claus,
Wow.
and put him on Coke bottles.
Really?
And the reason was, I mean, I got this all off like TikTok or some shit, but the reason was that
It's okay. Information can be anywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't have to be ashamed.
they had a hard time selling it in the winter because they branded it as like a summer, like a refreshing Coca-Cola on a hot summer day, and then like in the dead of winter, like no one would buy
a
it.
hot Coca-Cola on a cold winter's eve.
Yeah. Yeah. So then they had to be like, well, Christmas, obviously,
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
You get up, you run downstairs, you crack open a nice cold
Yeah.
Coke.
Yeah.
Which is funny that they were like, we don't have any winter sales. What if we just do one day? They only came up with sales for one day.
Right.
There's no larger strategy.
People buy a majority of their Coke on this in December.
Yeah.
Yeah, they stock up for the winter.
It's funny that marketing is the reason why anything exists at all.
Yeah.
Well, the original Thanksgiving was didn't we covered
We
this
did
in a
that one.
previous
That's-
episode.
yeah.
It was like accidental. All these Native Americans showed up to the
Wait, I'm sorry. So was Thanksgiving Native Americans or was it after the Revolution?
Well,
Now I'm
I have the
confused.
timeline. Is 1789, Washington declares the first Thanksgiving. Quote, we made it through the Revolution, thank God. 1863, Thanksgiving, remember the Pilgrims, eat pie, heal the nation, was the slogan. Today, that's the version that we have adapted.
But what's the first Thanksgiving you're talking about?
I forget where it was, Jamestown or some I don't know, some one of those cities, and all these native people. I think they were celebrating that they made it through the winter or something. I don't know. They were all shooting guns celebratorily as Americans do, and the native tribes near them thought that like they were declaring war. So they all showed up with all their rifles and bows and arrows and hatchets, and they're like, "You want to fucking go?" And they're like, No. We meant to invite you. Come.
Yeah,
Come.
like,
Pull
it's
up
a
a
dinner.
chair.
Guys,
Pull up a
burgers
chair.
are on the grill.
Yeah, come on.
Dinner
We got
shoots.
enough for
Come on
everybody.
in.
We
Yeah.
need more burgers.
Yeah.
Can somebody run out and get ice? We're running out of ice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
so
so
they
it was.
had a big feast with Native Americans. Well, so that did happen.
It did happen, but it wasn't supposed to happen.
And it wasn't called Thanksgiving.
I don't think so.
It was just like a feast.
Yeah, it was a somebody was just good at improv. And they were like, "Oh, no."
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're actually giving thanks that you guys showed up.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Love you guys.
It was
How
a
about another
spin.
blanket on
It
us?
was a spin.
How about a couple more blankets?
You look cold.
Come on.
Yeah.
A
more
nice
gunpowder?
Coca-Cola. Yeah.
Let me hug you and cough in your ear.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Tell me about the Boston stuff later, the tour of history.
Yeah,
Because
I'll
I
get into
looked
that
into the
too.
guy
Oh,
who
we
got
can do
struck
that
by
now. Let's
lightning.
do that now.
So that kind of ties into the Paul Revere stuff a
Yeah.
little bit. You looked into the lightning yet?
Yeah.
Okay, so I went to the old. First of all, I did the Freedom Tour in Boston. Have you done this?
I've never done it, but
really?
I've been
You've been to a
around
few
it.
of those
Yeah.
places?
Yeah.
I went to the old South Town Meeting Hall or whatever the
Yeah.
fuck, where they, got together and came up with the revolution, basically. And they now,
We're
to
calling it the Revolution.
we're calling it the revolution, and it's gonna be fucking brat girl summer. It's gonna slap.
Independent Girl Summer.
Yeah. They had all these like statues and monuments, and like there was some really great stuff, and like these characters that I'd never heard of before and have never been like covered, in class or anything. But there was this one guy.
One might say overshadowed.
Overshadowed. One might say.
I wouldn't, but some might.
There was a statue of this guy built to scale, and I swear to God, he was 5 feet tall, and it was just the meanest looking fucking Boston revolutionary, tiny little mean guy you've ever seen. And there's a plaque that was like, this guy, I forgot his name, but they were like, this guy was at the Boston Tea Party and at Lexington and Concord and at the first shots of he was just like in the middle of the mob.
Yeah.
Wherever it was at every big stage in Boston. He didn't have a consequential role, but he just like was at everything.
Just Fat Waldo
Yeah, I don't know.
appearing in every picture. It's just
exactly.
a red face.
He
like,
was just
yeah!
it's a red face. He's like hammered, screaming. Yeah, what's up?
There he is. There he is.
Put a fucking tear in the armor. Yeah, just like screaming. Do it. Because that's honestly how it started. Was just these guys got hammered and got pissed and got to talking. Like, you know what? Fuck them. We're gonna fucking throw this
And
shit
back
out.
then, we made action.
I never liked tea anyway.
And he's just like one of the meanest, drunkest guys in the mob, dude. And I just loved it.
He was just the guy, that guy, he has a classic Boston wife at home. You're always going out.
Yeah.
This stuff happening, Janine.
this stuff.
Things are happening.
There's
right
history out there.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in every goddamn etching.
No one's gonna remember your little tea party. No one's gonna remember your little Lexington and Concord.
I'm not trying to stay here with you tonight watching The Real Housewives of Concord, okay? I want to go out and make a
Hey,
difference.
let me ask you this. Is dinner ready yet? Then I'm going out.
Yeah.
So he was great. I loved seeing that guy. My other favorite one, I don't know if you found it, but it was like I was reading something about there was like maybe it was like a Massachusetts, legislature. He was like a Speaker of the House, but just for Massachusetts,
Okay.
He got struck by lightning.
Yeah, James Otis.
Yes. He got struck by lightning, and then he was never the same. He was never the
During
same.
a speech, and he went, fight, fight, fight.
Nobody. He came back to the whatever chamber of the legislature, and he went into. It was quoted as he went into a freak. So
He started to freak off.
he had
Started
a freak off. He went into
He's entered freak.
Dude, he spazzed out. Like, he got struck by lightning, came back the next day and was like, no! And then people were like, all right, James got. They asked him to step down after that. And he-
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I may have looked up a different guy. It may not be James Otis.
Oh, really?
Because the guy,
Into a freak.
because lightning was out there. We all know Ben and the Kite. So
Yeah,
there
lightning.
probably were.
Well, I think they're getting struck more before the
yeah.
rods, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And remember, we did an episode
Lightning
on
was a big problem.
Lightning was a
Pre-rod.
big-
Why was
Yeah.
it such a big problem back then? Because
It was the leading cause of death after heart disease.
are you serious?
No.
school
I was like,
shootings.
I believed you for a second. I was like,
And
damn.
sharks. Yeah.
Imagine
Flying
if you
sharks.
actually had to fear lightning. getting
Well,
struck
it
by
was a problem to the fact where Puritans, remember this? Puritans were so religious that homes were struck by lightning more often and they were caught fire. But when it did, if a home was struck, firefighters wouldn't put it out because they thought
It's God's will.
you're like, you did something bad.
Yeah. You
Even
gotta-
if you were like
Wow.
You think I'm
Regar-
putting out the burning bush? I don't
Yeah.
think so. This is God's fire.
Yeah.
Dude, but how could you not think that is God smiting?
Of
you?
course.
Of course. Yeah. There's no way.
Lightning just zaps
Yeah.
a guy? Okay, that was God.
Yeah.
That
Even
was
now,
God
I'd
just
be like,
pointing a finger at someone.
Yeah.
if you got struck by lightning, like leaving here, I'd be like, what'd you do?
Yeah.
Yesterday, something happened, right?
Dude, I had a neighbor growing up. Sorry to get away from the revolution here.
no, please.
But our next door neighbor right across the street is this old guy named Jake who would sit in his garage and just watch cars all day go by. And he would just sit in a chair and just, I swear to God, just watch cars. And apparently he was struck by lightning.
In his garage.
He was struck by lightning twice.
What?
What?
Twice.
What was he? Was he watching the cars and like
Was he masturbating to the cars?
I think like once he walked to the mailbox and got fucking struck by
Oh
lightning.
my God.
And then like
That's why I stay in my garage.
And then it happened again. And I think if you get electrocuted, you're like much more likely to get electrocuted again or something. I don't know why.
The lightning goes back. Hey, there's an easy one down there.
Yeah.
He's in his garage.
My
all
old
day.
favorite punching bag.
Well, hello.
If it isn't Jake going to the mailbox. Yeah.
Well, it's gotten a taste for your flesh.
But crazy last anecdote on Jake, and then I'll move off of this. He passed away like 20 years ago or something.
Of what? Choking on a Cheerio or something?
Yeah, he was.
lawn chair
His
is growing.
toaster fell in the tub. No, I don't know. He had a heart attack or something. And some other people moved into his house.
Dude, if you're about
And,
to tell me that they were struck by lightning.
No,
Yeah.
crazier, dude. Jake haunted the house. His radio would come on, and shit would, cupboards and everything would open, and all this shit that he used to do, and
Oh,
whoever
wow.
moved into it had to be like, "Hey, Jake, can you go away, please?" Yeah. And then like I think they like lit some candles, and they're like, "Jake, please leave this house." And then he was like, "All right,"
Okay.
Fine.
and he did move off it,
Okay.
Wow. This was right across the street.
right across the street. Yeah.
I mean,
That's insane.
Yeah. If you
Maybe a
could-
little piece of his soul got transferred from the lightning to the house.
It must be like a lightning house mailbox. It all kind of
Transference.
Yeah, because the radio would come. There was something with him getting struck by lightning. And
Wow.
yeah. Anyway,
Wow.
sorry for that.
That's
my house
wild.
across the house across the street from me got struck by lightning.
That's a movie.
twice.
I know.
That's a great movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
at least a short story.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's pitchable.
I don't really know how to develop that anymore. I'll be honest, I think that's like a 12-page script.
At least a chilling short story on Reddit.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then you do a TikTok of like someone playing Minecraft to the story being,
Yeah.
you know, remember those?
No.
You ever seen those TikToks where it's like somebody playing Minecraft, but there's a robot voice reading a Reddit story?
Oh yeah.
I have a lot of. You ever see this on the train when someone's like listening to a video out loud and you hear that AI voice? That's the most popular AI voice.
Yeah.
I want so bad to grab them by the collar and be like, "It's not real. This is fake content, you pig. You're
Oh,
eating
yeah.
from the slop."
Yeah.
You know, because
Yeah.
some people don't know it's real, and they're listening. He was like listening to like financial advice
Yeah.
from the AI voice.
No, you gotta let those people
on TikTok.
Dude, I do want to grab somebody by the collar just for even playing anything
Of course.
out loud.
Oh,
at all.
yeah.
I was
Yeah.
on a plane the other day. And it's fucking dumb fuck.
plane.
It's just like you can hear his like Candy Crush like ching ching ching
Yeah.
cling cling cling.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how fucking you're
Was
like
it a Greyhound plane?
55-year-old man. I
Yeah.
mean, like you're
And you need the noise too. What's your
the
problem?
noise. You're
That you-
just a child.
Yeah.
You're a toddler.
Those people, my mom, I mean, Zach he told me about this yesterday too with the mom joke. But yeah, my mom just plays Candy Crush nonstop.
Yeah.
Dude,
It's-
a lot of moms. It's like bigger
taken
than the
a lot of good
opiate
moms.
crisis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, my mom will have every screen on the house on, and we'll be watching like Severance, like something that pulls you in, and she's like,
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
When there's a dramatic show on and someone's doing some
Candy
bullshit
Crush,
like
and
that.
you're like, what are you doing?
Did they monetize? Like, did people pay money on it now?
Probably.
There's ads, something.
Oh,
sure.
Yeah, there's
The
some.
New York
on
Times is a
forever.
gaming site now.
I know, dude.
They make all their money from the games.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're a games company now.
That's so fucking stupid.
They're-
That's how you know.
It's New York Times presented by Wordle.
New York Times, dude. That's the degradation of society.
Yeah, that's
The
tough.
newspaper, the last trustworthy newspaper,
Is
is
a
now is now a gaming site.
People read in the newspaper like, are you fruit ninja?
Anyway, back to
oh.
okay. So that guy
Boston.
also went to the old library. It was one of the landmarks.
Okay.
I walked there, and it was a Chipotle.
Yeah, that'll happen.
I just said Chipotle. But it was on the map. It was like, don't miss the library. And I walked into the Chipotle, and I go, is there like a way to get to the library upstairs? Because there's like a whole upstairs. And they go, what? No.
No, that's the Bean Storehouse.
And
So
they
you
go-
have to buy something if you want the bathroom
And I
code.
go, is this the old town library? And they go, yeah. yeah, it was. And I go, all right. And so I love that.
We
But-
put
What's the
revolutionary
sofritas?
quotes on the cups if you want to
Yeah,
buy,
the
buy a
bag. Yeah.
drink.
Yeah.
The bags say no taxation with
Yeah.
the Judd Apatow quote.
No, I think they actually had to make it look really nice in order for it to be there. Somebody told me.
Yeah.
It couldn't just be a regular Chipotle. They had to have like really nice and beveled. Like they had
Oh,
to.
wow.
It was like a luxurious looking Chipotle.
You see that in Europe too. Like it looks like a castle, and then you walk to the other side, it's a Sephora.
Yeah, same with like
Yeah.
Fidei. It's like a Home Depot, but it looks like
Yeah, that
it's like
white-
the first bank down
that
there.
white
The
Home
white,
Depot.
dude, the white ornate Home Depot is so funny.
They have that in there's one McDonald's in the world that's a different color, and it's in Arizona.
What's the
in
color?
Sedona.
Is it
It's
Adobo?
teal. It's
That's
because,
that's pretty cool.
yeah, it's
Teal.
cool. It's teal because it's like Native American, like turquoise and teal. and all
Oh,
that
can you
stuff.
get teal
Yeah.
ketchup, like the novelty?
Oh, you
That
bet
would be
your
cool.
ass.
Novelty
That
color
sounds
ketchup.
good. I
Yeah.
would like to dip fries.
Remember those
in them,
purple
too.
ketchups?
Yeah, fun. You know what? Fun.
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 Gross out
Now
the uncle.
RFK's taking it all away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last place, well, we went to that boat. That was cool too.
Duck
and
boat.
then we went to Paul Revere's house.
Oh, cool.
And Paul Revere, it was awesome. It was like totally preserved in time. You know, all the fucking
Not,
floors are
not a
wonky.
Qdoba.
Yeah, not a Qdoba.
Not at all serving burritos.
Yeah,
Not
in no
even
way
one.
serving burritos. Honestly, felt like it might collapse or something. Like all the walls were fucking weird and wonky, and all
Nice.
the old shit in there. And then I was like looking at this plaque or something, and there was something about like a saloon down the street or like an old pub, and they go, Paul Revere would often go to the pub many nights over the next 30 years of his life as he grew old and recite the story of his midnight
Ooh.
run.
Oh, he's a loser.
And I, yes, exactly.
He's a glory days guy.
so disappointing.
It
sucks.
And dude, how
I
annoying!
ever tell you about the time?
How annoying would that be to go to that bar every night? Paul Revere's fucking telling
Standing
his
on a
story.
table.
It's like, dude, we fucking get it.
Yeah.
We've heard the story, man.
So there I was. It was pitch black because it was midnight, mind you.
Yeah. Have I told you? Also, this is going to make it even worse. Paul Revere didn't complete the midnight run.
Yeah, didn't he get like caught?
Yeah. He didn't
Yeah.
do it.
Oh.
Right,
He didn't do all of it. He did
Okay.
some of it. There's a lot more to the story
Did
than
he
I-
pass off a baton? Like what happened?
Paul wasn't that famous because like during his time.
Oh, okay.
He
Yeah.
was
Michael Jackson. No, that's
he
not.
was I
all.
will
He
say-
became famous by like a poem.
Yes.
Later in the 1800s.
the reason he's famous
called Paul Revere's like Midnight Run. or
Yes. It's Henry Walden Longfellow.
whatever, which is the most 1800s fucking
Yeah,
name you
dude,
could ever come
for
up with.
sure, that guy, yeah.
Henry Walden's Longfellow.
He's the reason that we know Paul Revere and not
Okay.
the other people involved with it. But Paul was also, I think maybe besides this drunk guy who's involved in every picture, I think Paul may have been involved in the most
Yeah.
revolutionary events out of everybody.
Yeah,
Besides
yeah.
maybe like a George Washington, like battle-wise. But
Yeah, I think like Sam Adams too is also like
Yeah.
at the Boston Tea Party and a lot of these things. At Lexington and Concord. And
yes, Paul was, but Paul was also, he was like part of an artisanal family. He got
yeah,
like,
he was he a copper or silver?
silversmith.
Oh, that's
silversmith.
cool.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
was-
yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
so he
werewolf hunters.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
my dad's side, not my Italian side, has a plate. My grandma passed down from generations, silver plate from Paul Revere.
Whoa.
It says live,
That's
laugh,
awesome.
love. No, they wouldn't have.
It says
live,
so
laugh.
there I was.
It was midnight.
The stroke of midnight. I ran the horse for all I could. I said, the British are coming. The British are coming. He just keeps saying that all night at the bar.
Stephanie, listen.
Did you went to the bathroom during the best part? During the best part of the story.
I'll tell it again. Fine.
The bartender kills himself.
But after the Midnight Run, I think he was, first of all, he just like randomly fought in the French Indian War too, and before the American Revolution.
He's a go-getter, man.
What was the
doing
French Indian War? Like, I don't know. I can't
didn't
remember.
really, yeah. I didn't really look into it.
No.
And,
Do you know anything about it?
I don't know.
I know.
Are they Indians like Native Americans?
Yeah.
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 I was like, was it India?
Yeah, it was strange. They decided not to fuck up their own countries, so they commuted to
yeah.
He said, we'll fight over there.
Yeah.
Right.
Where they think we are.
Well, the French Indian War was actually like the whole kind of first reason for the revolution because the England spent all their fucking money defending the colonies from the French and Indians or whatever, and then they had to like start levying taxes on us,
Yes.
and then everybody lost their fucking mind over
Yeah.
that.
Which created the perfect scenario for two countries to be mad at them, the French and America.
Yes.
Because they're fighting the French, and then we're getting fucked from the taxes, and then they basically created a great alliance.
Oh, yeah. And
seal their
Benjamin
doom.
Franklin was going over there persuading everybody and fucking all the chicks. in
Yeah,
France.
dude,
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
all the chicks being the life of the party.
Dude.
Yeah.
Cool.
Fucking
Yeah.
putting it on every night.
Colin Adams gay.
Taking his time.
Yeah, he was chilling.
Colin Adams gay. You guys didn't see John Adams on HBO?
No, but we
No.
did. We had Harshil Shukla, and he saw it, and we did an episode about John and Sam.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
we have some knowledge of it, but we
Yeah.
didn't see the show.
But there was a whole episode where it was just like Franklin is in Paris, and John Adams goes out to Paris to try to like speed up the process, and he
yeah.
fucks it all up
Yeah.
completely.
Because he's not as cool as Ben out
He's
there.
not cool.
Yeah.
It's
and,
like Succession when Romeo or whatever the pervert comes in and fucks up all the deals. You ever see Succession?
Yeah, but wait, I'm trying. I don't. Romeo the perfect.
Not Romeo. The McCulkin.
Oh, Roman.
Roman.
Yeah.
Roman. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I think it was more like John Adams was just like a square.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
he went up there. He's like, we need chips.
All right, so
Yeah,
they're
Ben
like,
was like,
dude, we're.
whoa.
It's more like Roman's doing the work, and then
Yeah.
Kendall's like, so we're gonna have a great business deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And
the
then,
French are
like-
like, we're doing poppers.
Yeah. You don't do a shot at the asshole.
Yeah. Do poppers in your asshole.
Aren't
Why
you
long
cool?
face? Why
Yeah.
long face?
Yeah.
Ben's just 69 in some
Go.
girl.
Yeah.
Go, dude.
Go shit over there
Dude,
to
he
prove
was
you're cool.
lapping up just rank pussy.
Yeah.
Ben Franklin
the
was just
smelliest.
fucking face
Yeah.
deep.
That's why his hairline's so far back.
Yeah, just burned off by just unkempt
Acid.
pussy. Yeah.
Very imbalanced over there.
Also, Ben like hated his son. He like
Well,
wrote.
his son was a loyalist
Yeah. What the
To-
hell?
to England.
Why?
That's why they had a
Yeah.
falling out. Because his son kind of hated him. He was like, Dad, like, what are you doing? Like, you can't do this. They're gonna kill you.
You have to respect the office, Dad.
He's like,
He's
Dad.
the king.
He was like the biggest like narc bitch.
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
was like, dude, if you're my son, then you're doing this.
And his dad's Ben's like, how many women have you fucked this week?
Yeah.
He's like a red pill Gen Z kid. He's like, you know how things are, right? The king's the king.
Yeah.
Fucking men are men.
Ben Franklin's actually the most badass guy ever.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
cool.
Have you guys
He's-
done a Ben Franklin episode?
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
genius. I mean,
Dude, he's brilliant.
Because his brother was he owned this newspaper that Ben
Yeah.
would write under
Under
Silence
the
Do Good.
Silence Do Good.
Yeah, but his brother would beat the shit out of him all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, he had like. I'm surprised no one's made like a movie of his life. It's like a crazy life.
Have they not? Yeah, they
Well,
should.
maybe like a long time ago.
But not
like
a
a-
shitty
yeah.
one, not like a real modern one.
yeah, unbelievable.
coming.
Yeah.
One of the
Marvel's gonna.
And
take
then the
care of that.
almanac that he would publish.
Oh, love Poor
yeah.
Richards.
Poor Richard's almanac. He
fun.
came with all those amazing like quotes and
Yeah.
like anecdotes and like all those things that are like idioms now. They're just
Yeah,
like
he had
Yeah,
too
yeah.
much brain power.
yeah,
It's
he really is.
like
Brilliant
the
guy.
the geniuses now all weird, get autistic and weird, but he's
Yeah, why can't you
Well,
be
they-
like
they are very diverse. Like Elon does all types of different shit, like kind of Ben Franklin did.
yeah, but I don't know if Ben was ever like talking about like eugenics and stuff. He was too busy getting laid. That's what you're
Yeah,
supposed to do.
But yeah, they were interested in like liberty and human rights. These guys are
Right.
not interested
Yeah.
in that anymore.
No.
They're like, what if we took those back?
Yeah. He's not trying to figure out how to like deport people in mass. Yeah, he was a cool
except for the
guy.
British.
Except for the British, they did want to get those guys. out.
Yeah,
fucking-
that's true.
Yeah.
Fence teeth wiggers out of here.
Well, I got some Paul. I got some
Sorry.
Paul.
I
have
meant
some
like
quick Paul
wig
stuff.
wearers,
Oh,
not
okay.
like
Oh, okay. I was like-
not white blacks.
It's your podcast, man. Go off.
Yeah.
But,
I could
I don't
continue with a
support that
couple
type
of
of
Paul.
language.
yeah, dude, give me some Paul.
Here's okay. So Paul, this is the stuff that I think you. So really quick,
How far to get?
I'll tell you.
Tell me.
What do you know him from though? Really quick. Let me ask you a question.
Midnight
Midnight
Run.
Run.
Midnight Run. Okay,
Midnight
he was
Run.
also Midnight Run, French Indian War. He was in the Sons
He
of
was in the French Connection. Can you believe that? What was it? Sons of.
He was
Anarchy?
in the Sons of Liberty, which led to him being in the Boston Tea Party.
Okay.
So he was, and he etched one of the most, if not the most famous drawings of the Revolution.
Really?
Let me show you.
I didn't know he was an etcher.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Paul Revere?
Oh, that's in all
Let
our
me tell you
history
this.
books.
Was he at that too?
He stole this, and he took credit for it.
Whoa.
Oh, what a dirtbag.
Check out this beef. So, Paul Revere was a son of liberty. They were the ones that were actually going and
Yeah.
fucking shit up. Boston
Throwing
Tea
tea,
Party.
yeah.
Doing all the shit that everybody said they were going to do. Henry Pelham, think about Pelham, New York, was a loyalist. They were friends. Pelham was there the day that this actually happened. And this was a big, the Boston supposedly opened fire on a bunch of regular people out in the city, and this was depicted to show that. So,
Boston Massacre.
Yes,
Yeah.
the Boston. So Paul Revere knows that Henry drew this, and this isn't out in the public yet. So Paul goes, "Hey, could I borrow that for a second just to look at it?" And Henry's like, "Of course, well, I could trust you." Henry's a loyalist. Paul takes it, draws his version of it, puts it out into the public, propagandizes it a little bit more to make the British look a
Also,
little
he
bit more
tweaked it.
bloody.
He adds more smoke.
Yeah.
They're all
More
smiling.
guns.
Well, one thing, and then it goes to court because Henry comes out
wow,
and is
yeah.
like, "That's fucking mine.
art
You've been
court.
selling it on the street. I need a piece of the pie." Also, the British didn't do that. And one thing that the courts brought up is and we can put this. On
Yeah,
the
I'll put
screen
it
if
up
you
there.
subscribe.
Is it a dog?
Paul Revere drew the dog in there to make it seem like these were just
yeah.
regular people out walking their dog, having a good
That's
day,
awesome.
trying to
That's
find
a
some-
great touch, Paul.
And then the
a good
courts
touch.
fought back and said, obviously, this size of dog would have been scared by the church bells. This is propaganda.
What?
They said
What?
this little wimpy bitch dog would have been scared by the church bells alone.
That's so funny. Like, what was court back then? A dog of that size would have been running from the church bells. Order!
And everyone's like,
like-
fuck.
Everybody's like,
Yeah,
That's
they're talking about a
indisputable.
cartoon. It's like, it's crazy.
Yes.
Also, I believe probably in the same trial, the trial that handled the Boston Massacre, John Adams was the lawyer for the British.
whoa.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why?
Because
Everyone deserves a
He
lawyer.
believed in the rule of law. And then
Wow.
And he
What a
represented
square.
them, and then he was a square.
Big square.
Never got
You gotta watch the show. That's great.
Almost
Paul
cute.
Giamatti is
Oh, yeah, he's
amazing.
good.
He's unbelievably good.
He's good in Billions, too.
He's a
even though Billions
complicated
is
guy.
cheesy.
John
Yeah.
Adams.
Big Fat Liar is
Okay.
my favorite.
yeah. Sideways. It's a sequel to the John Adams.
That's hilarious. That's like Monty Python logic.
Yeah.
Well, the dog in the church bell. And yeah. What about the fucking guns going off?
Yeah.
The dog wouldn't be scared of that?
No. Also, they asked. there was
Your
one-
Honor, I've never seen a dog that size,
Yeah.
that close to a firing.
I don't know what was the ruling.
The British in favor of the soldiers.
Okay.
So they were all free to go or whatever, but people were still pissed.
Yeah.
You know how
well,
this
Red
started,
Lives
too?
Matter. You know what they say.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, this started as a snowball fight.
Yeah. Well, it started as them. I think just they were throwing snowballs at the soldiers because they were just walking around.
Well,
and
tit
there's
for
people
tat.
like,
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Fuck these guys.
Eye for an eye.
But it accelerated to they threw like fucking
Ice.
hammers and
Oh.
fucking stones and shit.
There was a hammer in that snowball.
Yeah,
Guys.
there was like other shit, and then that's when they opened fire because it was like a mob. It's like an
Ow, that one had
out-of-control mob.
ice.
Yeah,
And then they fired.
Yeah, pretty nuts. But
That's crazy.
also, eventually, Pelham and Revere went into business together.
the
After,
guy he robbed.
yeah.
What,
Really?
making art?
Wait,
They,
but
they,
he
opened,
Yes.
they opened a gallery?
Paul like controlled the art that he drew. Paul was like a huge, very successful after the war.
Okay.
Because of his, he tried to be an entrepreneur in something and failed.
What do you sell,
but
like
then,
printed T-shirts?
yeah,
with
yeah,
that on it?
graphic
yeah,
tees.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was the first guy who actually
Who
did the-
beefed? Love the new tee, Paul.
They would sell Team Colony and Team Redcoat shirts.
Yeah.
Edward and Jacob.
Yeah.
Yeah, he fell back on like his silversmithing, but then he got into copper.
Yeah,
And
this
he
whole
was able
revolution
to-
thing doesn't work out. I got a nice.
He fell back on copper.
Yeah.
Silver's too hard. I'm gonna fall back on copper.
Copper, you know.
more of a copper guy.
Yeah, my mom said I should probably get my copper degree just in case silver doesn't work out.
She was right. She was right. You know, I really wanted to paint, but
Yeah, but I just don't have the fight in me anymore.
Silver's not what it used to be, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
He lined all the American ships with copper bottoms to make them safer. And he opened up a gunpowder mill. So he was rolling in dough.
Nice.
And that's why I think he was a little bit more known in society.
How far do you get in the run, though?
Okay, so this is what happened with the run. Here are the how many
Midnight runs.
here are the main characters.
Had those last night.
This is what happened. So as far as what do you think? or is he the brainchild? The original story
Of the run?
Yes, from what you've been told.
Can I say that I tried to read the Wikipedia page about the run and I couldn't I didn't really get it. I couldn't visualize it, and I didn't really. Yeah, so I'd love you to
Wikipedia
break
did
it
a
down.
bad job.
I'm
They did
assuming
it bad. I didn't really.
he's
get
just
it.
taking orders and he gets on a horse to send a message.
That's good. Yes. So it was kind of told to us, I guess, younger. The story or the myth is that he was galloping around and then he was shown 2 lamps up on a church and then he had to gallop off. But this was a long.
So listen, I saw 2 lamps and that's how I knew.
He's like hammered. Yeah, he's been in the bar all day.
That's how I knew is the
Paul,
2. If there's 1 lamp, it wouldn't have been the same.
Yeah.
Paul,
1 if land, 2 by 6.
we're not doing this. Did you fucking ride all the way out here?
Are you riding home? Give me your.
Does your wife
It
know
was
you're out
actually
here right
close.
now?
It was actually closer to 1 a.m.
We told you can't be part of the battle strategy out
It
here.
was, but we thought midnight run sounded better than 1 a.m. run, so we decided
Well,
to
go home. Well, go
we
home,
decided to
Paul.
go midnight run.
Paul, please go home.
Give me your sound. You're walking home.
I love you. I love you so fucking much.
You should have been with me out there.
I don't want to go home to her, man. So he did the midnight run to get away from his wife.
Well, he had fucking 16
He's
kids.
like,
Well,
Yeah.
what you don't hear about is
Jesus.
the 11:30 p.m. fight.
Yeah.
He had the 11:50. I'm going out.
Yeah. The bar closed at 11:30. Can't go home. What to do?
It's the equivalent of a dude just
What
being
about
like,
my horses doing right now?
He's probably down to kill.
it's like when dudes are like, I just need to drive.
Just gotta drive.
I just gotta go.
Just gotta be with my thoughts.
Sometimes you say you just fucking drive, man. You just drive.
He's riding. Hey, you're a crazy bitch.
Where you going, Paul? I just gotta work something out.
Just around.
I'm going to Concord.
What song do you think was playing in his mind when he did that ride? Just like
Yankee Doodle.
yeah, you doodle dandy.
The flute version only.
yeah, I was gonna say like the boys are back in town or something, like some kind of like epic like the final countdown.
Probably Boys of Summer.
Really good to
Yeah, yeah.
hear your voice.
Yeah, Lips of an Angel, maybe.
It's just like Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Immigrant song.
Yeah.
It's Mother by Danzig.
Full moon out there.
Shirt off.
He's got a flask.
He probably had it. He probably popped a few buttons off the petticoat.
Oh, yeah.
Feel the breeze in his chest.
Put his
there.
wig on.
Yeah. Take his wig off.
That ride would be so badass. Dude.
Oh,
That sounds
yeah.
I hope
fun.
he was just blasting some like whiskey out of a flask.
He had to.
Yeah, or huffing
He had
paint or
to.
something.
They had to be
Dude,
drunk.
have you ever jacked off in a car like while driving?
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if he jacked off.
On the
On
that's
the-
gotta
on
be
the run.
Well, if you get it right, you could probably.
Yeah, you don't even have to move.
I'm just saying, if you're doing the midnight run, I'd probably want to crank one out on it.
Oh well, it's 66 miles, so you got.
It was
to.
66. I thought it was like
So
17.
tell me last time you went 66 miles without cranking one out.
Dude,
It's been a while.
if I'm alone in a car 66 miles, I mean, I'm cranking at least one.
Oh yeah, especially yeah, of course.
How awesome would that be if we found out Paul Revere jerked off on the midnight ride?
It would make me love him, dude.
Yeah.
I know.
We'd get to work. I think we'd be building a statue pretty quick.
It took a while once he was done to unstick him from his horse. Paul, what is this?
That was the signal. He showed up covered in cum, and they're like, "Oh fuck, the British must be."
The British came on him.
They are coming.
the British are coming, or they
The British came. I guess they already came.
British came.
Yeah.
Are they done?
Okay,
There would be a
sorry.
small
So
refractory.
it was 66 miles. I thought it was like 15.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking New York to Philadelphia because he went. I think New York to Philadelphia a lot. That's why he was chosen for the midnight run. He was a courier.
Yeah,
he used to ride
He
horses
went-
a lot.
No, it was just from Boston to like Concord, right, or whatever.
Yes. So he
Yeah.
was here were the characters that were involved. It was Joseph Warren, Paul Revere, Bill Dawes, and then surprise guest Sam Prescott was this guy who they ran into. So this is what happened. It was April 18th, 7075. 7075. It's in the future.
Beautiful time.
And so Joseph Warren was the brainchild. Paul Revere and Bill Dawes were the horseback riders. Joe hears the news that the Brits are coming. So he goes, Paul.
Because they see Paul covered in cum.
Yeah, they go, this guy.
Coming from where?
I don't know
Their
where they were
penises.
coming from.
Just because were they blockading Boston already or whatever?
I think so, yeah, because I think at one point we lost New York.
He did.
And yeah.
That was completely
That's
seized.
Benedict.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into that.
Okay, so maybe they were, just say they're coming from there.
They're coming.
And Joe hears about this, so he goes, Paul, I need you to go to Lexington and Concord to warn everybody. And you're going to go one route. He's going to take a boat through the Charleston and then go up that way. And then he also recruited Bill Dawes to go the opposite way.
Through the Charles River?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, Bill Dawes just went on horseback, full land through the Boston Neck, it was called.
Okay.
So he had two people go to increase the odds that they would succeed because he was like, it's going to be likely that you guys are going to be caught.
Yeah.
And here's a fun fact. So apparently, as Paul was getting into the boat to row through the Charles River, there was an enemy ship that he had to row by that they could see.
But I'm sorry, he got in a boat? He didn't even get on a horse?
He got on a boat first to
Okay,
go through the
sorry,
Charles
go
River,
ahead,
and
go
then
ahead.
It's a midnight triathlon.
yeah,
For real.
yeah. There was a
was
it was a tough mutter.
There was a
Really,
ski-
there's monkey
there-
bars.
Yeah. So he's just like paddling himself?
He might have been with another guy, but because I watched this movie where it was two guys in a boat, but
Okay.
didn't hear about him.
Like holes.
Yeah, like old Greg.
Yeah.
Old Greg.
The revolution was based loosely off holes.
Yeah. Yep. Not the other way around.
No, definitely not the other way around.
Movie predated the revolution.
Yeah.
So Paul gets into this boat and they test out the oars. And there's a big enemy British ship that they can see off into the distance that he has no chance of kind of sneaking by. And they test out the oars and they're too loud because the stirrups that are holding
It's
the
like
oars.
splash, splash.
Well, they're more like,
Ka-chunk,
like
ka-chunk.
the
Oh, they're
stirrups
creaking.
yeah, they're loud and creaking because it's an old boat. So by God's grace,
Yeah.
Paul looks up, sees a lady in the window, asks a favor, and ends the favor by being, "For the rebel cause." She lifts up her blouse,
What?
takes off her petty skirt, throws it down.
Are you about to tell me
I'm getting hard over here.
Yeah.
What? So, okay, so she...
that they
She gets
used
nude?
her juices?
Girls Gone Wild.
And then what?
Well, wait, what? What do you think is about to happen?
Tell me. Keep going.
No, what's the juices theory?
Well, I thought she took off. I guess I forgot what a petticoat was. I thought she took off her bottom and they used her fucking secretions to stop the school. I don't know.
What's wrong with you?
I thought.
So like, that's like WD-40? It's
Yeah.
It's squeaky.
Madam Miss,
Ah!
please.
Madam,
Oh, look, there's a maiden in the window.
we all know the old
future of this
wives'
country
tale.
depends on your
Could use her natural lubricant.
I'm
Jesus.
sorry.
I mean,
What's wrong with you?
I don't know, man.
that probably would have.
Paul's a weird guy. It's not me.
Okay,
probably
so
would've worked.
they used it
So she throws down, one of the many garments that
layers
they
on
had on,
garments.
and they rip it to pieces and tie it around the stirrup so it doesn't make noise.
And the whole
Okay.
time her boobs are out. Like, we love you.
Yeah,
Cool.
Well,
They threw some beads on her
I think the sniz is out.
So that wrapping that around it made it not make noise?
Made it not,
because of the juices.
the juices and the these were sopping wet.
Why were they worried about getting heard instead of seen?
It was midnight, so I guess everybody was asleep
It was
on the
pitch
boat.
black. There's also no lights
No
or
lights.
electricity.
Yeah,
So
I guess so, but I
okay, they just needed to be quiet.
I think so. Yes, I guess you could. Could you really make progress rowing that silently?
I don't know,
I would
man.
think the splash alone would be.
Yeah. But maybe the creaking of the
Also,
oars is
they're
worse.
they're not in a river, are they?
And the Charles,
Yeah.
Bay.
what's
Is it a
what is
bay?
it?
Charles River.
Charles River, yeah.
But they're probably in the bay. If
But they're
there's
going to
if there's a
Lexington,
British
I don't know.
ship, then it's probably
Right.
not the river.
It-
They can't go up into a river.
I don't know.
All right. Anyway,
So he somehow miraculously gets to the shore, keeps the panties.
something tells me tonight is going to be one I don't forget.
Oh, that song. Don't get food again.
yeah. Meet the new boss.
So he gallops
last
all the
night
way up
was
to.
a movie,
Cool,
guys.
dude. The Midnight Run is so funny to me. I don't know what of it. It's hilarious to me.
It's a great album.
Yeah.
Midnight Run.
So he makes it to Concord with Bill Dawes. They both make it to Concord, and they warn people like John Adams and Sam Adams and John Hancock.
They both
and
found
John
a
Adams,
they
regular guy, common name.
They both found a slut to silence their oars.
yeah,
That's good.
Who'd you go with?
Yeah. Carol.
Carol.
She's a real whore.
Yeah.
I also think, how many times do you think men back then used the excuse for the rebel cause?
Oh,
For the
dude.
rebel
At the
cause.
bar.
Okay,
Come on, we'll kiss.
Come on,
let me
babe.
bust inside. It's
Come
for
on.
for the rebel cause.
Come on, we got a
Dude,
big
also,
day tomorrow.
imagine if that girl's fucking like parents were loyalists to the British, and she was like, "Did you give fucking Paul Revere your rip off your panties and throw them to one of these like rebel rousers again?" Just like
Again?
tossing fucking like, take my pussy rag,
Yeah,
Paul.
please.
Now you see what they're doing? They're burning down targets.
Yeah.
All right? They're not good people. These
They're
are
rioters.
They're rioters.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he is on the boat, and then he boats
Well, he makes it. They both make it to Concord. Dawes and
on a boat. Where's the fucking horse?
Well,
on the boat.
He boats through the river. Then he gets a horse waiting for him. His horse is waiting for him after the Charles River,
okay.
and then he jumps
And
on
then
his
he
horse.
rides for like 15
Phase one of the
miles.
triathlon's always water.
Yeah.
And then you get on the horse.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
bike. And then he's
Yeah.
got to run the last
Right,
two.
right.
So they both make it to Concord. They both warn the people, and then they run into this.
Wait, time out. Are there two horses, or is the other guy on his back, like behind him on the horse? Because if there's a guy
A lot of people
with
don't
his
know
arms
that.
wrapped around Paul Revere, that really changes the midnight run for me.
I think that makes it better.
Dude,
the guy's
it's so
like, I can
funny.
hear you jacking off.
Yeah.
It's 66 miles,
It's
man.
really badass with him alone on the horse. If there's another guy on the back of that horse, it's not as cool.
Do you think it's a little cooler if he's riding like a jet ski and he's turned around just holding onto the horse's tail? You know the guy on the back, like a spotter?
Wait, sorry.
You seen
what?
that on a jet ski? You sit the guy on the back sits backwards.
Oh, really?
You're like,
Oh, I didn't know that either. Yeah.
Well, if you're straight, you do.
Someone's lived a life of privilege.
I've been on a jet ski.
I never have. I'm kind of afraid of them.
Oh, they're fun. Well, if
I've
you're like
heard they're
tubing or whatever, if a guy's being pulled off the back,
Yeah.
you got to spot him.
Yeah, you spot your bro.
Yeah,
Okay,
spot the bro.
so they
So-
may or may not be on one horse.
Well, so Dawes takes a horse through land, gets to Concord. Revere goes boat, horse, Concord.
But I thought he was on the boat with another guy.
Yeah, I don't know who the other guy was. Maybe he stayed there to watch the boat.
Okay, probably he stayed behind. He's on a horse by himself.
Yeah.
We got the other guy on a horse.
Yes.
Got it.
So they meet, they warn the people. They run into this other guy, Sam Prescott, who they deem trustworthy enough to come with.
All right.
Yeah.
That's all I know about him. They go, "You're pretty cool." So
Yeah,
they-
you're
at this
chill.
point, they're a little drunk.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they probably
Right.
they probably had a few beers and they go, "Want to see something?" He shows them the panties.
Yeah.
And everybody goes, "That's sick." And he goes, "Come on,
Come on.
come with us
For the
We're
cause.
changing the country for the cause."
You like this, you're going to love this ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We started a group chat. And so they,
You just want to get a group letter going?
And so who are they warning? Like the townspeople of Concord?
yeah, the militia to be ready. That the
Okay.
troops are coming. So please, don't go to bed. Get your guns ready. Everybody, get ready to fight. And then best decision they could have made was to involve Sam in this because as they ride off to Lexington, they are ambushed by British troops.
Yeah.
So you guys know anything about this part?
Yeah,
no.
a little bit.
No.
Okay, hit me.
Well, doesn't he? They go. He tells them that he told them, right? Right. The British intercept Paul, and he was like, "It's too late. I told them they're coming or some shit." Right?
He's questioned. Yeah, they
questioned.
detain Paul.
Yeah.
Bill Dawes escapes, but he's bucked off his horse at some point, so he just walks back to
Because
Concord.
the horse is a loyalist.
Yeah, exactly.
Couldn't trust the horse.
Yeah.
Dude, the 1 a.m. walk. That's a
Yeah,
long
that's
one.
tough.
The 15 miler.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, the fucking 15 miler home with no electricity. God, that
How
sucks.
many times you get lost?
Dude, that would suck so bad.
You don't
the-
just
the
know
1
your way
a.m.
back
walk
to
of shame.
North Star. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess this
It's gonna be a
way.
long night.
I miss her.
Yeah.
So they take Paul, they question him, and I don't know how much he tells them, but I got to imagine that's got to be a crazy interrogation where they're like, "Where are you going?" He's
Yeah.
like, "I was just needed to drive," and they're like, "Why are you saying the British were coming?"
Well, what I read is that he just literally, he was like, "Yeah, I told them.
Whoa.
Yeah, I told them they were coming. Told them just now."
And there's
Oh,
nothing.
wow.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Well, maybe that's true because they did keep Paul and they escorted him back
They let
to
him
Concord.
go or something. Yeah, they.
Yeah, but on the way back, musket fire, they were shooting at the Brits when people in Concord could see them. So then the Brits ran away, but they took Paul's horse as well. So he had to walk back to Concord as well.
Did he actually walk?
I don't know how long he walked, but at some point, the
Probably got an Uber.
Brits, people were
Oh, he
shooting
walked
at-
back to Concord. Probably stayed the night in somewhere.
Yeah, so Bill and...
Probably had a side piece.
Oh,
out
for
there.
sure, dude.
Yeah.
They all had pieces.
He had a side piece in Concord, one in
Yeah.
Lexington.
Oh, yeah, every town.
George Washington to set it up for morale checkpoints.
Yeah, he's like, yeah.
That's why I think a lot of people join the revolution, for the puss.
Yeah,
I
maybe.
mean, war is brutal, but pussy is sweet.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I
exciting.
think that's in the
back
almanac.
then. Now war is like, is like sad and horrific. But back then it was like
Kind of a party.
We all have like a cool mutual goal.
Yeah.
And something to get excited about. It's like the fucking Olympics or the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it was that. There
then you
was
could
It was,
do
like,
little-
it was like really like exciting.
You could do
Yeah.
little quests. Go on a midnight ride.
Yeah, dump
you
some
know?
tea.
And
Yeah.
people kept getting excited for every war. I think after the Civil War, they were like, "God, that one actually like
That one
Yeah.
hurt.
that one really like,
I'm
hurt,
sore.
hurt our soul."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to chill.
And then they forgot about it. And then they're like, World War I.
Yeah.
Yeah, up
And
over
then they
the
came back and
trenches.
they're like, that one really hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not do that again. and
So, okay,
name
one
it.
more time. Let's
Yeah.
do it one more time.
All right, one more. And they
to-
came back from the second one. They're like, that rocked.
Yeah.
This country's exploding.
That
planes-
was fucking
Yeah.
sick, dude.
The planes were fun.
We beat that ass.
Yeah. So Sam was the only one who made it to Lexington to warn everybody. So he's the
Oh.
reason why the whole mission was completed.
Oh, wow.
And the only reason
Just a hitchhiker.
Yeah,
Just
I
some
guess so. I don't know.
Wait, so
trustworthy
Sam
vagabond.
walked to Lexington.
Sam, I guess, had a horse too.
You're very
Is that who
concerned
got
with the
bucked off?
logistics.
Oh, Sam's the guy they picked up.
Yeah, Sam's.
Okay,
yeah.
got it.
Sam,
He's the
Jack-
hitchhiker. He's the hook hand.
I love to try to visualize it because it's like it would look like that painting of just like an old.
Yeah.
There's just like land in like a tiny little bungalows.
Yeah.
And just open stretches of nothingness, and then you have these guys that are going like 17 miles, which doesn't sound like much in a car, but if you're fucking on a horse or walking in the middle of the night,
Yeah.
And then there's
nothing's-
like these like people with guns that like there's enemies around. It's
War was a lot of
kinda crazy
walking.
to think about. A lot of walking back.
War was so much walking, even up until World War II.
Yeah,
you said it was
that's true.
1917,
Even,
they're walking the whole
in
movie.
Vietnam,
Yeah.
they're always walking through.
Yeah.
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 Now I believe they have segways.
Yes. Yeah. It's a lot more humane.
Yeah,
With the
yeah.
segways.
Yeah, they have the segways,
Yeah.
some scooters.
Yeah.
I
still-
believe they have bird scooters.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they have lime over there.
Yeah, lime.
Yeah, they got lime.
Sorry, yeah.
You're thinking,
Yeah.
you're thinking
Agent
lime.
Lime.
You're
Yeah,
thinking
yeah.
lime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bird was in Iraq, but Afghanistan.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Bird was Desert Storm. That's why we accomplished it so quickly.
Yeah.
So here's the reason why we know Revere so much is this poet. He wrote the poem in 1860 on the eve of the Civil War. So Northern morale was low. So this guy, Henry the poet, he's like, I need to stir something up and remind the people that we fucking kick ass in
Yeah.
their names. So he wrote about the Midnight Run, and he kept it to Paul Revere because, one, lone hero's always better.
You got to simplify.
Yeah.
You know? Why do we have 3 characters when it could be 1?
Could just be one. One's
Could this
gonna-
character
They don't need to know
be
the
one?
details, these people. They just need
Yeah.
to be a little, pepper in the mouth.
just punching up a script?
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny that a poem could raise morale.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah,
Somebody
well-
coming out with a
viral
new
poem.
poem to
New poem drops.
to lift the national spirit.
yeah. Everybody's fired
Did you
up.
hear that new
Yeah,
poem?
yeah.
Fucking go!
Yeah.
You saw the poems? Go kick their
They
ass.
fucking rhyme the shit out of
I
it.
love that ABABABB.
Yeah, yeah. Well, also it was Paul because his last name was easiest to rhyme with.
Revere.
Revere, sincere, the British. are
Well, I mean,
here.
you got-
hella queer.
The British are here.
The
You got-
British are here.
Yeah, that's
Cheer.
Better steer clear.
the South.
Cheer.
I don't know what that was. That was a battery.
Good.
It was just a battery.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
So really, I mean, I think if Paul would have had a different last name, we wouldn't know about
Might
it.
not have gotten in the poem.
Crazy, man.
Yeah. So that's why we.
Thank God he wasn't named Paul Orange.
I had that. Yeah, I wrote
You
Paul
wrote Paul
Doorhinge.
Orange.
I put
Those,
Doorhinge.
Doorhinge.
Those battles were we won those, and those are like the first, right?
Yeah,
Did
yeah,
we
yeah,
win
yes.
Lexington Concord. So that was like a huge morale lift.
Yeah.
and I think that had we not,
Yeah,
there
it
would
could have
been
been
nothing
yeah.
to talk about. Really.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Also, Paul, weirdly enough, going back to Joseph Warren, he died in the Battle of Bunker Hill, the brainchild of all this stuff. And Paul was the first one in history to identify a body based off of dental records because Paul tried to make dentures at some point in his life.
Dude,
and
this
He
guy
tried to
was
make
always-
silver grills.
He was always
Yeah,
cooking
yeah.
something up, dude. This guy was just like in the lab cooking every night.
yeah, he had a lot of hobbies. This guy.
He's-
Yeah,
He
yeah.
hated his wife. He had 2 wives and 16 kids, but he was always scheming.
Yeah.
Dude, he was always just in the garage.
yeah.
He
He's
spent
Jake.
no time with these kids. He's
Yeah.
like, I gotta cook. I gotta create dentures. Fuck it, dentures out of copper.
Dentures is
Yeah.
big. Look at George's teeth. They're shit.
Etchings, paintings.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal some pictures.
Some pictures. Put me on a horse.
Yeah, he's an art thief.
I'll
He's
fucking
a,
do a midnight run.
he's a dental
Yeah,
hygienist.
this is
He's
where it's kind
everything.
of like Elon's kids. Where they're
That's
like,
what I'm
Fuck
saying,
that guy.
dude. Yeah.
But everybody back then was like that. Everybody
true.
like did a bunch of different weird shit.
Yeah, everybody had people complain now about having to have a side
were
hustle.
side
They had a
hustles.
bunch.
Dude,
back
everybody,
then.
yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody did like everything back then.
Yeah, they did Uber horse.
It's called being a Renaissance man, not a gig.
And
not
everyone
a
was
gig worker.
also a farmer.
Yes, everybody knew
I
how
don't
to
think
farm.
Paul was because I think his copper thing worked out. But
Yeah.
like John Adams, all these guys like were mostly just farming. Like he was a lawyer farmer.
Yeah.
Like he was a lawyer,
John
like
Adams,
a prominent
farmer.
lawyer who had to like work the farm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was like shoveling manure every morning and then like going to court in the afternoon.
I wonder if
He's
that's.
practicing. He's like, this man is innocent.
Yeah. Just shoveling shit.
I wonder if that's how capable we'd all be without like TV.
If the glove does not fit, that's good.
yeah,
Dude, you ever think like everyone was like my dad was actually like a bit of a farmer and my grandpa grew up on a farm.
Yeah, my dad grew up on
Wow.
a farm.
And his
Wow.
dad had like a farm. And I would wager to guess that it just went back till the dawn of time.
yeah.
So I think I'm the first non-farmer
Wow.
in like a line of like 1,000
millennia.
guys. Yeah, just millennia of just people shoveling shit and pulling weeds.
What if I'm funny?
Yeah.
In your evolutionary family chart, everyone's bent over like with a hoe, and then it's finely you just in front of Premiere.
Yeah.
Just like that's a good keyframe.
Yeah. Where's the opacity meter here? Set a keyframe there.
Oh, it's gonna be a good harvest.
Yeah.
This content.
Great batch of clips coming out.
Yeah, this is a big clip, big juicy clip.
Big, nice reel.
I like that.
Wow.
That's interesting.
I love Paul Revere, man.
Good
I
Paul
love that he
stuff.
went and sat at a bar every night after that and told the story to everybody.
Yeah, just taking silver coins from women's ears.
Yeah.
Just getting fucking
Being
hammered.
a
on.
douchebag.
was.
Yeah.
I took her panties for the cards. I still got them.
It's a good thing they wrote that poem about him because it sounded like he needed the story. He needed it
Oh my God.
more than the other guys.
Oh
did.
yeah.
Yeah, that's on his. If he was alive, that would have been on his fridge.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
You see this, babe?
He tapes over his kids' pictures.
Yeah.
baby, poem just dropped.
You read my poem?
About the run. She's like, would you give it up with the run?
That was 20 years ago, Paul.
All you do is talk about the midnight run, Paul.
That's pretty good.
Probably why his first wife died. She went crazy.
Did she really?
Yeah, I think she died after like 8 years or something. He had 8 kids with 2 wives each.
That'll make you go
16
crazy.
kids, and only 5 outlived him.
They all lived in that house?
I guess.
How that house, like, you can maybe get like 3 or 4 kids in there, but
How many siblings did your grandparents have on the farm? Because mine had 9 and 10.
wow.
Yeah.
My grandpa
Really?
only had, well, he did have, he had 5 siblings, so there's 6 of them.
Okay.
He had 2 brothers and then 3 sisters. And one of his brothers had asthma and like couldn't do anything. And then his dad,
So basically 4 kids.
Yeah.
5 total kids.
well, just like as far as people who could be like man the farm.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? It was like him and his dad and his other brother. And then his dad died of a busted appendix.
Oh my God.
When my grandpa was 14.
Oh.
And back then,
Wait.
now you could go get an appendicitis, but back then there was like nothing you could do. And so my grandpa had to like man the farm during the Great Depression when he was like 14 with his.
Everybody's dad. I feel like back then everybody's dad died at 14.
Yeah, totally.
So like you're.
And he was totally fine and well adjusted. And so
Didn't affect him at all.
Yeah, like literally never went to therapy, never had to. He was like a jolly guy.
It's all that manual
farm-
labor. You're
yeah,
pulling
the farm
turnips
does
and you
you
work
good.
some stuff out. You
Yeah,
think
you
about
work
it,
it
you
out.
process
You work it out.
Yeah.
And you get the reward too with that corn.
Oh yeah, you're eating corn. You
Yeah.
forget all about that, Dad.
It was crazy. They got hit by the fucking dust, like a little bit of dust bowl. in
Wow.
Kansas.
That's nuts.
So they would just be dust over everything, like a film of. They wore masks. And
And they had to put their
Wow.
plates
The
on the
fields.
table upside down until they were ready to.
Yeah, I think so.
Start dinner.
like shit like that.
That's
yeah.
nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy because it would get in the house and everywhere.
Yeah.
yeah.
Would be great for kids with
Different
pica who
time.
like eating dirt. You know that?
Different time.
Pica?
No, what is that?
What?
Pico de gallo.
Pica, they don't like that. That's food. No, pica is a disorder where you eat things that aren't food. So that would have been a great time to be a pica kid in the Dust Bowl.
Yeah.
Just open your mouth and it's an all-you-can-eat buffet.
Yeah, you just dust everywhere.
Yeah, you're like
in
a
your fucking
whale.
mouth. That's crazy. Well, what do we got, Zach?
A lot of parents were dying. A lot of wives were going crazy. I got some stuff about Benedict Arnold and the clandestine spy network that George Washington created.
Let's
So
go.
after Nathan Hale died, Washington was like, we need to be a little more organized. We can't do this on like a volunteer basis. They're all going to get killed. And yeah, he had a cool last line, but not everyone's going to have something ready to go.
Yeah,
You
dude.
know? But
Everyone had
if,
a great last line.
what if we get someone on
Yeah.
the gallows
Gonna
and
have a
he's
good
like,
last line.
I think you had to have one ready back then.
Yeah,
I
you
think people
did.
spent like, ooh, what's he gonna? I think they were in their rooms.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna say.
yeah, when boys
stupid.
had
His last
sleepovers,
words.
what
I
would
feel
your
like-
last words be?
Yeah.
I think something
That's
sick-
got to be kind of made up. Like Paul Revere's ride has been greatly exaggerated. Like I feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
some of these last words.
Or what if you heard of the last word when someone died? And was like, fuck, that was mine. That was mine.
Oh
I was
shit!
gonna
Yeah,
say that.
but he's right next to you in
like
the
when-
gallows.
Yeah.
He gets hanged, and you're like, "Fuck! I gotta think of something."
Yeah, I gotta go quick.
Yeah.
Last words.
It's Saturday night.
Yes. All right. So in 1778, so 2 years after Nathan Hale died, George Washington and this guy Benjamin Talmadge created a spy network to gather intelligence and provide disinformation to the British forces during the Revolutionary War.
Let's go, George.
It was called the Culper Ring. It's not a word.
Culper.
Culper, not culprit, not Copacabana, Culper. It's actually an alias that everyone would go by. Samuel Culper Jr., Samuel Culper Sr. Everyone it was like Spartacus.
Oh, that's
Just
how
to
they
give
knew.
some
That's how they
anonymity.
knew who was who. That's how they knew who was the spy.
Well, they didn't even know. Yes, but not everyone in the Culper Ring knew who was in the Culper Ring.
But their last names are Culper. No?
Well, fake. They're fake last names.
So there were real Culpers too. So you never know.
I don't know. I looked up. I think there was just an alias. It was like do
Wait, so
good.
how would they not know who else? is in
They
the
would know.
ring?
It was like a need to know. They wouldn't know everyone.
Oh, okay, I see.
So they couldn't. They would know the people they needed to know.
Yeah.
A lot of this happened in like the way that Benjamin Franklin was. The way that Benedict Arnold was outed as a traitor was in Long Island. It was some Long Island boys. So
He was a governor's.
We're gonna get to that. Yeah, it was a yeah, a heckler was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"You
yeah.
fucking traitor!"
Yeah,
aren't
yeah,
you?
yeah.
I could tell. I could read people. So they used some cool.
It's so funny to think about people in Long Island in 1778. It's like literally, what was it? Just like a forest?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
there were
Just
like
nothing there.
yeah,
Like
and
a
now
few
it's
cottages,
hill
and shit.
people.
yeah, the pinnacle of society.
Yeah.
Long Island.
Yeah.
Just hill people eating bagels or something.
Now it's like single-handedly turning New York into a red state.
yeah.
They used invisible ink during the war against the British. George
I'm
Washington.
sorry. What?
They
Yeah.
used invisible ink.
They had that back then?
They,
Oh, yeah.
I thought
brother,
that came out in 1998.
yeah. Right alongside Whiteout.
I thought that was as seen on TV stuff.
What is invisible? Do I not know what invisible ink is?
Well, I think at some point it was like pee or ammonia or something, and you could easily crack the code by lighting fire under the paper and seeing the invisible ink. So this was more advanced than that. They used an agent and a reagent process. So it was like a chemical lock. Hey, thanks for listening to this episode. If you want to hear the rest of the I want to say Ben Franklin, but it's fucking Benedict Arnold. If you want to hear more about Benedict Arnold and the secret codes and such, you can go to the Patreon right now. The episode fully is out on there, or you can just wait a week and you'll hear more then. All right. We love you. Please review the goddamn podcast and check out Joe's special. He's a very funny man. All right, I think that's it.
Yeah, I
think we got
thanks
it.
for having me, man.
Of
This
course,
was,
thanks for doing
Thanks for doing it, Joe.
Oh man, I love talking history and I love talking history with you guys. So.
Thank you.
Love
Much
it.
appreciated,
Same here.
man. Yeah,
Love, laugh, learn.
love, laugh, learn.
New pod.
Please check out my special, Keep the
Yes.
Change, June 10th on YouTube.
Keep the change, folks.
May 26th.
Where can they find you on the socials?
Find me at Nunnagram on Instagram and at Nunnink Comedy on YouTube and TikTok.
Funny if ever Nunnatube, Nunnatalk, Nunnagram.
I don't know why I picked that one when Instagram came out and I didn't even know what it was.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I'm in too deep.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's
Yeah.
good.
So
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate my Zach Russell comedy everywhere. Just so.
Well, but that's consistent. That
Shameless.
says
Yeah.
your name and what you are.
It's true.
Yeah.
I am comedy.
Yeah. So, yeah.
You're Graham.
I'm Graham.
Charles.
out, guys.
Charles _.
Thanks
Go
for having
follow
me.
All right.
Review the pod. Tell
Follow
your friends.
Joe.
Follow everybody. All right, we love you.
Good night.
Stay safe.